All right, hello. Jazzy Jeff here in the house. Just got back from seeing Kong Skull Island. I wasn't planning on doing a review, but the film actually ended up being a hell of a lot better than I expected it to be. So I decided to do I guess just a quick verbal review of what I experienced and what I saw. The beginning half will be just my thoughts, and then the second half will have spoilers, and I will definitely differentiate the two, or I might even split this into two videos. Alright, so first things first. The theater by me is UEC. I think it's, I forget what it stands for, but it's a shitty ass fucking movie theater. Anybody that's watching this video that is around the State College or Center County area, I just want to say this and get it out of the way. I think USC sucks. For basically $10, which keep in mind is the student price. I think if you get there before 7 or before, because the movie was at 6:30, I got student pricing even without showing my old student ID. If you show them your old student ID, it could be from like a decade ago, they'll still accept it. But even with the discounted price, it was still 10 fucking bucks. And let me tell you, first off, I didn't care much for the seats, but they sucked. I've sat in more comfortable movie theater seats. Number two, the fucking movie, I forgot to look this up. I don't know how long Kong Skull Island's been in the theaters. I guess it's been a couple weeks. It should have only been maybe like 2 or 3 weeks. They already had it in like the smaller fucking venue theater with the smaller fucking screen. So that sucks. So I spent $10 and didn't see it on the bigger screen. It was like in the last run part of the fucking movie theater, which is bullshit. They shouldn't even fucking have that. All the fucking movie theaters should be the same, and they're not. Next up, I could hear the fucking movies playing next door. So that sucked, because whenever the movie got quiet, or there was a scene change, or there was a part of the movie where it was just dying down, or it was a quiet scene, I could hear fucking music from the fucking movie next door. So if you guys are in and around this area, don't waste your fucking time seeing a movie while you're in town. Save your money and go somewhere fucking else, because the fucking movie theater here sucks ass. One other thing, when I headed in, it was 6:30, didn't smell popcorn, didn't see popcorn. On my way out of the movie theater at 9:30, I'm getting waffled with fucking, I'm sorry, a little bit before 9. Getting waffled with the fucking smell of fucking popcorn. Who the fuck makes fresh popcorn after 9? Like, that's the smell that you're supposed to smell as you enter a fucking movie theater. I'm not some kind of movie theater snob, but I'm like, seriously? Like, you're going to be making fresh popcorn and you're going to be closing in like 2 hours. But you don't make fresh popcorn like 8 hours ago. I don't get it. I don't get it. All that aside, we're talking Kong. So, non-spoilers, what did I think of it? I thought it was one of the best Kong movies I've seen in a really long time. Obviously, I love the original. I love Mighty Joe Young. Still haven't seen Son of Kong. I'm a big fan of the 70s kind of pseudo-remake. I don't really consider that one a remake. I just kind of consider it like, you know, monsters were getting big again in the 70s, monster movies and stuff like that. So it was just sort of to capitalize on I guess, that time period. Not a lot of people really count that particular film as like a remake, really, and it's kind of lost to time. But the Dino De Laurentiis is good. I also enjoy the sequel with Linda Hamilton. Then that brings us to there was a couple Japanese films. Kong Lives. No, there was another one. There was like one where he was like a robot or something. I didn't see any of the Japanese releases. Man, this cat's going crazy. Then that brings us to the Peter Jackson Kong films. Those ones... Hold on one second. So that brings me to the Peter Jackson Kong film. I didn't really care for that one a whole lot. This one compared to that one, I'm kind of comparing those two because that was like the most recent one, and that was sort of the big budget Kong film. I think it was like 2005, 2006, something like that. This one looked so much better. This one had a better story. It wasn't trying to be something it wasn't. It wasn't trying to be an exact fucking duplicate of the original. It was through and through a new Kong story. They definitely made references to the original film with various scenes and such and such. It definitely had moments where it felt like a King Kong film, but then there was definitely scenes where it felt like a new monster movie, like something different. It was just fun. It was a fun popcorn flick. It got the job done. You know, there was cool. It all made sense. There was like, it made sense why the military was involved. It kind of made sense why they went to the island. It kind of made sense why there was different groups of people and why they were sort of like, it was tough for them to work together because you sort of had you had civilians and you had the military. The monsters were great looking. Finally, we're getting away from the Cloverfield monsters. We're getting away from the Marvel Universe monsters. We're getting away from everything looking like Transformers or fucking Iron Man. Even Emmerich's Roland Emmerich's Godzilla. Those fucking monsters look straight out of fucking like a Michael Bay film or fucking just like or Cloverfield or whatever. Like, it did not. There was just nothing interesting about the monsters in Godzilla. Like, they didn't try to do something cool. They didn't try to do something creative. They made them look like fucking aliens. They made them look like fucking pterodactyls from fucking Jurassic Park. Speaking of Jurassic Park, this was a hell of a lot better than Jurassic World. I also thought this was better than Godzilla, from a year or two ago. I did see that one in the movie theater. Much, much, much better film. What they did with this film, I wanted them to do with Godzilla, and they got it fucking right this time with King Kong, which I was really surprised, because the King Kong story has been told again and again and again, with different, in different ways and with different monsters. But this film, they finally fucking got things right. You get to see close-ups of Kong's face, Kong's eyes, Kong's teeth, lots of scenes of Kong's hand, which is something that kind of references the old days when you only see Kong's hand. The film had fantastic CGI, which is really crazy for me to say this. There was scenes that you could tell it was CGI, but the way they used CGI and the way they executed it, it looked really good. The monsters on the island were incredibly fucking interesting and really cool looking. I'll get into more details about them and the spoilers. I'm just trying to watch what I say here, but overall, it was great. Now going into the things I didn't like about the film, I did not like the music. I thought it was too cheesy and too like shoved down your throat that it was like the 70s. There was too many references that it was the 70s. The Nixon bobblehead was just too fucking much. The clips in the beginning of the film really get you into it, but you don't really need anything more than that. The music felt out of place and overplayed and overused. When you guys go to see the movie, you'll know what I mean. Obviously, the acting wasn't the best. It wasn't the worst. I was surprised at the acting that came from some of the people. Once again, I'll get into that in the spoilers because I don't want to ruin that too much. But essentially, I expected Samuel L. Jackson to be better. I thought John Goodman was good. I just felt like his character was weak with what they gave him to work with. But it was great to see him regardless. I didn't really care for there was a few kind of Transformers / Marvel Marvel movie scenes where it like slowed down and like they show one guy being the hero. Didn't really care for that. But I knew the movie was going to have it. But thankfully there was only like 1 or 2 scenes that were like that, and they're kind of towards the end. Spoiler, I guess. And that took me out of the movie, but I was kind of already out of the movie to begin with, because of hearing this other fucking movie theater's music. You know, I don't know what movie was playing next door, but it was like really obnoxious. Probably Beauty and the Beast or some bullshit. I think that's one of the movies that's out right now. But anyway, getting off topic. So that was basically what I didn't like about it. But there wasn't like overuse of the military like in the Godzilla film. There wasn't overuse of trying to build up the human characters. I actually thought the best fucking character in the movie was John C. Reilly's character. I thought he was fucking phenomenal. He actually saved the movie. He really was just brilliant with like, it was the perfect amount of comedy that you needed in the movie, which is not something that usually goes over well in a monster movie like King Kong or Godzilla. It's hard to get it's hard to get that kind of to get good comedy, so to speak, in a movie like that. So that was it. I mean, I recommend you go see it. Like I said, I don't know how long it's been out. By the time I get this movie out, I mean, by the time I like edit this and upload it, I mean, it might even be out of theaters, but hopefully it runs a little bit longer. I don't even know how long movies are in theaters anymore. I remember years ago, movies used to be in theaters for like 2 or 3 months. Now some movies are in theaters for like a month and a half, and then they're out. So I don't know what that's all about. The fucking movie industry is crying about losing money. How about you fucking let your goddamn movie run more than 2 weeks, okay? Like, it's ridiculous. Like, I was checking the newspaper or whatever, and there's like 3 times for the movie today. I was like, that's crazy. I mean, then again, I know I live in a smaller, like, area, suburban area, whatever, but it's ridiculous. Alright. This part of the video now is spoilers. So, for those that don't want the movie to be spoiled, don't watch anymore. So here we go. Spoilers are happening. Right off the bat, I gotta get this out of the way. The monsters, I really wanted to get into detail with the monsters. There was a fucking octopus monster. That was fucking awesome. There was flying monsters. That was fucking awesome. Everything looked different. Everything looked colorful. Everything looked special. There was tons of monster fights between Kong. There was the skull creatures or something. I forget entirely what the name of they were called, skull crushers or something, but they were really cool. They had like no arms, just legs and like a beak, kind of looked like a T-Rex. Those were fucking awesome. Like I said, the octopus scene was amazing, and they show Kong eat. That was fucking cool. I've never seen that in any fucking Kong movie before. The way he ate and the manner in which he ate, it was different. Like, they never really showed something like that. And when you guys see that scene, the octopus scene, you'll know what I mean. John Goodman died. I was really surprised about that. When Samuel L. Jackson died, I thought that was awesome because he actually sucked. He was the worst. everything they had him do just felt like forced, felt rushed. And he even had that cheesy fucking one-liner from the Jurassic Park film, "Hold on to your butts." As soon as he said that, I was like, just kill him. Just kill him. What else, man? So much happened. I love all the eye stuff. I love the movie starts with an eye and then the movie ended with an eye, which was really cool. Kong's eye, of course, played a big part. The end of the movie, obviously there's the end credit sequence where they totally reference Godzilla among other Toho monster properties. The thing that sucked, and I understand it's like legal jargon, but as the credits were ending, you actually see in like big fucking blocky letters, Rodan, Mothra, Godzilla, King Ghidorah, fucking Jet Jaguar. Like, you see all these fucking names, and then it says, you know, owned by Toho. And I was like, well, that just fucking ruined this, you know what I mean? Because then after I saw that, and then the fucking end credit scene started up, what do you know? They're showing, you know, King Ghidorah and Mothra and all these fucking, and then you hear fucking Godzilla roar. So, but it was still cool. It was still cool nonetheless. What else? Just trying to like rush through this so that I don't forget anything. I mean, I just thought that like I said, those fucking scenes, like the slow-mo scenes where the guy has the fucking blade, Loki from the fucking Avengers film, I didn't really care for him. The girl was actually pretty cool. She was different for a change. Instead of her just being like a sex symbol, she actually kind of kicked ass and was kind of cool. She seemed out of place in some scenes, but they didn't like play her up as a damsel in distress, which was nice. They had they had the scene where her and Kong like touch, and they have their moment, and Kong gets real emotional. The scene where Kong gets thrown into the boats and he gets chains all over him, I thought that was supposed to be a reference to him breaking out of the chains like he does in all the previous films when they bring him to America. That was pretty fucking cool. They ended the fucking movie with Kong and they started the movie with Kong. That was my problem with Godzilla. They just did not show him enough. Kong felt like he was on screen for a lot longer, and he just it just felt like a fucking Kong movie. It smelled like a Kong movie. It looked like a fucking Kong movie. Godzilla felt like more like Transformers mixed in with like Call of Duty, mixed in with like, you know, Breaking Bad, and then mixed in with like a couple shots of like the original Power Rangers show, like random shots of Japan and like Japanese footage. And like that's what Godzilla was. And then like 15 minutes of Godzilla was in the movie, like 5 minutes here, 5 minutes here, and 5 minutes there, and that was it. Like, it was awful. This was nothing like that. Like, you got a lot of Kong, you got a lot of monster fighting scenes, you got a lot of action. Yeah, it was just great. And like the ending felt nice, like John C. Reilly, like that storyline was fantastic. You know, obviously he gets back to his, you know, kids. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, I was fucking thrilled with the movie. I think it was cool. It's definitely worth seeing in the movie theater if you can get out and see it. Obviously, I'm going to try and get this video posted ASAP so that if you guys had any doubts, that Jazzy Jeff's giving you the 2 big thumbs up. It's worth it. You know, even if you got to pay $10, it's totally fucking worth it. So, this is Jazzy Jeff. Kong Island, Kong, Skull Island, King of Kong Island, King of Skull Island, Skull King Kong. It rocked. It was cool. You know, like I said, it's got that 70s feel. I could do without, you know, the overbearing music, and the slow-mo fucking Transformer scenes. But otherwise, I'm looking forward to more of these monster films. So, thanks for watching, and that's it, guys. So, I'm out.